For weeks, I've told you to stay away from the SBC Fodder cards. I said it's not worth putting all of these coins hostage into cards that are going to take weeks to start rising. Focus on the meta cards. Don't go out and pick up an 87 rated with 48 pace. It's just not worth it, as tempting as it may be. But now it's been a few weeks. And is it finally time to pull the trigger? What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Trading to Glory video on my channel. My name is Sean, aka Elite, and before we get started, guys, if you have been enjoying the series and if this video helps you out at all, if you learn anything, don't forget to drop a like on the video. Let's shoot for 500 likes on today's video. And with the support you've been showing recently, you're going to smash that out of the ballpark. Let's hop into today's video, though, which is all about SBC Fodder. In its entirety, the entire guide coming to you in one video. Let's start out by talking about what SBC Fodder is. If you don't know, it's basically a high-rated card that is not very good in game, but still has use to get submitted into a squad building challenge in order to get some other rewards, whether it's a player SBC, a cool pack, but generally it's player SBCs or repeatable pack SBCs, stuff like that. And one of the cards that I should use as an example here is Casemiro. His card is pretty terrible. I mean, you might have used him for a couple days at the beginning of the game, but realistically, it's just not a card that translates well into FIFA. It doesn't perform well in gameplay, despite the fact that it is 89 rated. And as an 89 rated card, it's only 20,000 coins just 2 weeks into the game. The card has 65 pace, it's got 2-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot. The best stats on it are 86 defense and 90 physicality, which isn't bad, but given the fact that he's so slow and he doesn't have great distribution skills, it's just not worth putting in your team. And in fact, it's oftentimes better to go with an 82 or an 83 rated card that does have the stats in the right areas for the current meta. Well, that's an SBC Fodder card, and I told you guys we wouldn't see any player SBCs that really rise the market whatsoever for a couple of weeks, and now we're a couple weeks in, and we're starting to see a few of these drop. Now, we saw a couple of them like Pedro, we saw one with Shaqiri, we saw one with Anderson Talisca, but over the last 2 days, Koulibaly dropped, which I did an SBC solution for that. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Jorginho Wijnaldum. We've got Gustil, which is a much cheaper one. Cristiano Ronaldo, which, by the way, is like 26 windows, including several 89 rated squads to complete. So that means that you would need 44 of those Casemiros to complete this. In theory, obviously, you can't submit 11 Casemiros for one SBC, but it's very expensive. And if you were to go out and do Cristiano Ronaldo, you would need so much SBC fodder to complete it. The unfortunate part about it, and the reason that SBC Fodder hasn't risen a ton, although it has gone up a little bit with so many different SBCs dropping, Karim Benzema is another one, the TOTW La Liga, but the reason it hasn't risen a ton because of the Cristiano Ronaldo SBC is because, let's be real, there's only like 14 people going to do that SBC. There's not very many people that are going to do it. It is so expensive. Like 2.3 million if you're building from scratch. Obviously a little cheaper if you're building with players already in your club, but you're obviously not going to be able to do that entire SBC with players in your club. I don't even think it's actually possible at this point in the game. Even if you had like every single player in the game, you still would have to go out and buy more players to complete that SBC. And I don't think it's worth doing. Even if I had the coins, I probably could complete the SBC. It would use up pretty much all my coins though. It's not worth doing this early in the year. However, some of these other ones like Karim Benzema, Koulibaly, Wijnaldum, a lot of people are interested in doing those. In fact, I kind of want to do that Koulibaly SBC before it expires, and that's why I made a video on it. Nonetheless, guys, we've seen a slight increase in price on this SBC fodder over the course of the last day, but realistically, it's only taking some of that fodder out of people's clubs. It's deteriorating the supply that's within people's clubs, which means that the next few SBCs that drop, as long as they're not too far away and people have time to replenish the lost value in the club with rewards or the FUT Champs rewards, Division Rival rewards, whether it's marquee matchups or just going out and buying some cards over the course of the next week, that would add more of the fodder to their club, which means that they wouldn't have to go out and buy anymore. But if they continue to drop SBCs like this, and maybe we'll see another player of the month by the end of the week, maybe for Ligue 1, I don't believe we've seen that yet, so maybe the French League will drop a player of the month as well. And if they do, that'll make the market rise even higher. So the more player SBCs that we see throughout Ones to Watch, and I imagine we might even see another Ones to Watch SBC. We've still got quite a few more days left of that. It just started the Team 2, so we'll probably see another one of those. Which means the SBC fodder is going to start rising, and that's why I'm going to pull up FUTBIN, and we're going to take a look at what it's already done and how far it could go. Right here is a market index. If you've never seen it before, it's basically it's basically tracking the market overall average of every single card in that category. So for index 85, it's all the 85s in the game. And it's combined into one index, and it gives you an average, and it shows you when is the market low for 85s, when is it high for 85s, and basically where the trend is going. And you can take a look at that literally based on the minute if you wanted to. You can see that what happened was that Cristiano Ronaldo SBC came out, and everybody panic bought these cards. And what happened was so many people bought these cards, it did rise a little bit. Sure, the market went up slightly, but because nobody actually was doing the CR7 SBC, everybody that bought those cards in those few hours all just tried selling at one point, and they dropped a ton. Sure, it was going to correct itself a little bit, but it was never going to get back up to where it was, and right now it's still kind of low at about 87, maybe 88 in total, in comparison to the 98 that it was averaging yesterday. So overall, the 85 rated market, it's down about 10% on the price it was the day before. Certain cards are up slightly if you've got the right ones, but overall the market's down. And you can take a look at this for a lot of the SBC fodder cards. You can even take a look at the 86s or the 83s, and let's see if 86s followed a similar trend. And they did. The cards got bought a little bit here, and then they also dropped after the SBCs got released. You would think that after the SBCs get released, they would rise, and normally that will be true, but when everybody that's invests in the same players at the same time, and then nobody actually goes out and does the SBCs, well, that's going to cause a market drop, and that's exactly what happened today, guys. So this is going to give us a really good opportunity to actually pick up some cards. The Koulibaly and the Koulibaly SBC, it's not letting me... There we go. It's not letting me choose the 83. I just wanted to see what would happen with the 83s, and they dropped a little bit as well. Not quite as much, and it actually seems like 6 p.m. UK actually dropped the market a little bit more. It went down a couple of points right there, but not as big of a crash as the higher rated market. And here's the thing with 83s. They didn't really have a lot of room to drop in price. They're already discard price, 850 coins if you want to buy an 83 rated right now. If you scroll down here, and let me see if you guys can see all of this. Yeah, you can see most of it. Let me scroll it to the left, though, so you can see even more. And you can see all of the cards of certain ratings, and it'll show you the cheapest of that rating. So the cheapest 85 rated card right now is Golaci, who is the Leipzig goalkeeper. Schmeichel, another goalkeeper. Sommer, another goalkeeper. And then Cavani, De Vrij, Jorginho, Oyarzabal are the cheapest 85s. You can look at the 86s. Parejo, 6,000 coins for an 86 rated card. Not too terrible. And you're looking for cards that are good to link as well. So when you invest in 85 rated cards, and I would suggest over the next couple of days, maybe today if you wanted to, I can't guarantee the perfect time to buy these cards because I don't exactly know when they're going to end up dropping more SBCs, but if you pick up some of these cards and at least club stock with them, you will end up making profit as more and more squad building challenges drop over the course of the next week. But if you're investing in 85s and you want to go all in, maybe 100k, maybe 500k into one card, I wouldn't go out and just buy Golaci. I don't think that's the best idea. Most of the investors try to find the cheapest card, and they just invest in that cheap card. And even though they'll make profit, it's not as much profit as they could have made off of a card that might be like Laporte. So I'm looking at Parejo, and that's actually a pretty good one. But Golaci, I wouldn't invest in the goalkeeper from Hungary and Leipzig. It's very hard to link in a team if you need any chemistry for that SBC. On the other hand, if you scroll down, Thiago Silva, that's much easier to link. It's Brazilian from Chelsea, the Premier League. That's much easier to link. Maybe Gnabry, because you've got a couple of different Germans that you can link that with, and that could end up working out pretty well. You've got Gnabry, Gundogan, Royce, all in the same price range, and you could do that in a single squad. Same thing here. Rodri and Laporte, I feel like would be a pretty common hyperlink that people use to get more chemistry in their SBC squads. So I wouldn't invest in Casteels. I would go out and spend an extra 500 coins per card and pick up a Rodri or a Laporte or maybe a Jordi Alba. That's a little bit more expensive because he is slightly meta. He's not too terrible of a card. But you want to pick up the ones that have the best links. And I'm not telling you guys exactly go out and get Rodri, go out and get Laporte, because I did that one time with Malin. I said, well, in theory, Malin should rise because people are getting the standard edition of the game and they're going to be building low-rated squads. But then OTW came out. He actually dropped in price. And I think it was like 2 or 3 people, they came to me saying, yo, man, I put 250K into Daniel Malin. You said he was going to rise, and he didn't, and I lost coins, which I'll take full blame for the fact that I did mention Malin and say that in theory he should rise, but if you're going out and making an investment, you guys got to be thinking for yourself with these cards. I'm giving examples of ones that I think would be good in theory because Rodri and Laporte could rise, but you got to think for yourself and make those decisions, because in the end, it's you're the person buying. I buy cards and I lose coins. That happens, okay? So if I buy a card like Daniel Mellon, which I did, I bought like 5 of him, and then I ended up just selling all 5 for what I got it for. But then you go out and buy 300K worth of him, you've got to take responsibility with that card and continue to monitor it and make sure that you're going to make profit or get your coins back when things aren't looking too hot. Some cards won't rise. Some things are out of our hands, with EA dropping certain SBCs and EA affecting the market in certain ways. You've got to be quick to adapt, and that's especially true this year because there's so much fluctuation in these cards that sometimes I don't even have time to get a video out before I've bought and sold a card. So I'm more so teaching you guys on what you can do as we move forward. You're ready the next time a situation that's similar occurs. Maybe I couldn't tell you in time to buy all of those Al Jabirs and buy them for 90K and then sell them for 130. I couldn't tell you in time because by the time he was 130, the video had come out maybe like 2 hours beforehand. So unless you watched that video really early, then you missed out on it. But now you know in the future for complement links. So I just wanted to point that out before we moved on with this SBC fodder, guys. Although if SBCs continue to drop for players, then these things will rise. Certain cards will rise more. As we look at some of the ratings, we've got 14K for 88 rated players. I think that's not too bad. I could definitely see these cards hitting 20K, especially given the fact that there's only 4 of them under 20K right now, and the next cheapest is 27. So I like the 88 rated. Looking at the 87 rated cards, I will tell you in previous years, the average price of these cards ended up being about 20K, about maybe 28K, and then 89s were somewhere near 40K, maybe 45 to 50K for the 90s, but that's as we got farther into the game. 83s are much more volatile. They can go from 800 to 3,000 or 4,000 coins at their peak, but then go back down very quickly because they're easier to pack. 84 rated cards, they can move between 4,000 coins and 10,000 coins, back down to 2,000 coins. It's a lot of fluctuation because of SBCs, and it really just comes down to the demand of an SBC. If EA decide to drop an SBC that's for Mbappe, and they make Mbappe cheaper than what his gold card is on the market, well, then what's going to happen is people are going to go out and they're going to do that SBC because they know they're getting a good deal, and more people are going to be needing this SBC fodder because people are doing the SBC. But if they drop an Mbappe SBC that's worth 3 million coins to complete, there's not going to be that many people that end up doing it because 1, most people can't afford that yet, or 2, it's just not a good choice to spend your coins on that this early in the game. So it's not going to affect the market that much. Not only do they have to drop an SBC, they need to drop an SBC that people will do. And that is what I'm going to leave you on with the SBC fodder. If you guys have any questions about squad building challenge fodder, leave it down in the comments below. Let me know if you are thinking about picking up a player. I'll give you my opinion on, yeah, I think those links are good. I think it might be in a good position. Generally, I stay away from goalkeepers and center attacking mids because those are tough to get into squads because there's not too many formations with a center forward. It's a lot easier to link center mids because you can put a center mid at right mid and still get 5 chemistry. You can't put a center attacking mid at right mid and still get 5 chem. You can't put a goalkeeper at striker. You'll only get 2 chemistry maximum, and that's if he gets the links. You can only put a goalkeeper in one position to get full chemistry, while if you put a left back at right back, you get 5 chem. If you put a left back at left wing, you get 5 chem. If you put a left back at center back, you get 5 chem. So there's a little bit more wiggle room with cards that are field players and get good links to different positions. If you can put a, center back at CDM or a CDM at center back, those get extra chem than putting a goalkeeper at center back out of position. Even if they're out of position, they won't get just 2 chemistry. They might get 5 or 6. For strikers, those are also tough ones because they can only do striker or center forward. And there's not very many formations that run a left forward, right forward either. So right wing are generally cheaper than right mid because you can play a right mid at center mid for 5 chemistry. All of those different aspects, think about, and also think about their country and their league when investing in them. But that's going to be it for SBC Fodder today, guys. Hopefully you learned something, and if you did, as I said at the beginning, drop a like. We're shooting for 500 likes. Oh, that's backwards. 500 likes on today's video, and if we hit that, it'd be absolutely amazing. As always, I've got something for you to comment down below. In today's comment, you gotta comment mashed potatoes down in the comment section below. If you made it to the end of the video, I'll make sure to heart everybody's comment with the words mashed potatoes. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.